Morgan Good for fightfan.com.au. With me, Peter Nicholas, CEO of Rapid Loss, for what's our now inaugural Pete's Predictions. Pete, let's talk through three main fights, two of which are on tonight. So we've got Soa Palele against Hai Suk Son. Talk us through your predictions for that one.
First of all, why does Ian Schaffer's wife always have to wear high heels? I'm actually 5'11". Ian, can you please do something about this? Look, the weight disparity is massive. 103 versus 130 kilos. I don't expect it to go 2 rounds. We have to be very unlucky. Anything can happen in a fight, as you know, Ian. But I expect Soa his Muay Thai has improved tremendously. We work very hard on some very unorthodox elbows. We've had Garth Woods help us with some boxing as well. I think this is going to be a whitewash. I feel sorry for this Korean guy, but you never know. You never know. But 103 versus 130 kilos, I wouldn't want to be the smaller guy.
Yeah, that's definitely a weight difference. What do you know about this guy?
You know what? He's 103 kilos. That's all I need to know. He could be the hardest man in the world. You know my prediction. You know what I said about fight disparity. You know what I said about BJ Penn fighting an inferior opponent last time. And you know what? The bigger man's always going to win. That's why we have weight divisions. And I predict in 5 years from now, there'll be a different weight division at 100 and 120 kilos. There's massive disparity. I don't know why this guy's taking the fight.
Okay, so let's move on to then Hector Lombard versus Jesse Taylor. Talk us through that one.
Well, Jesse's not scared, right? Jesse's got balls of steel. But I said the future of this sport is Cain Velasquez. I said that it's going to be Hector Lombard, and I said it's going to be Jones. And before you asked me about Jones and Rampage, I think Rampage is yesterday's man. I think it's not going to last 2 rounds. I think they're the three protagonists of the fight game. I'll say it again, Cain Velasquez, when this young man goes into UFC, this freak of nature, Hector Lombard, I think he's going to be there for a very, very long time. I think Anderson Silva yesterday, St. Pierre yesterday, that's the future. Those 3 guys are the future. I say it and I stand by it. I haven't seen anything like it. He's a freak. Reminds me of your husband at his peak.
Everyone always has to drop that one in there. So you actually kind of took the words out of my mouth. I was going to talk to you about Hector Lombard. Whenever we really talk about him at Fight Fan here, Georgia St. Pierre gets mentioned, Anderson Silva gets mentioned, Nate Marquardt gets mentioned. Talk us through your opinions on those fights if they were to ever happen.
Well, he's got the biggest winning streak in the world, and some publications won't let us publish that. But we're going to go into the press next week after he wins this fight tonight. He's had the biggest winning streak. He's got the biggest winning streak, 14 fights in a row. The next best is Anderson Silva. Now, the world doesn't know about that yet, but I'll make sure that our PR company, with your help, spreads the very positive propaganda. He is the best fighter, pound for pound, in the world. And I stand by that. And you'll see 5 years from now, he'll still be there.
And you saw it here on Fight Fan.
Thanks, Gilbert.
So talk us through Rampage and Jones then.
Well, you know what? Rampage has had his day. You know, like you're talking about yesterday's man. Look, he's a fantastic fighter. He's a beautiful guy. He just doesn't have. He's a one-dimensional fighter. Jones has got an overhand. I've never seen. What's this? I've never seen that before in my life. Thai boxers don't throw that. I don't think that it's going to last 2 rounds. I think he's got to go the way of Chuck Liddell. He's got to bow it gracefully because he's going to start getting hurt really, really badly. And I have all the respect for Rampage he's given us. I remember the Pride fight that I saw years ago. When he fought the axe murderer, that was his best fight, and I think his best years are behind him now. He should exit gracefully. He have one more fight, and that's it, so we can remember him. Otherwise, he's going to end up like what's his name? The axe murderer. What's his name? He's going to end up like that. He's going to end up with Vanderlei Silva. Thanks, Ian. He's going to end up like with Vanderlei Silva, and that's going to be sad. And Tito Ortiz, and that's going to be sad. I think this is his last fight. He'll put in a good show for 2 rounds, and that's it.
Okay, so finally then, anything interesting you can fill us in on? You tend to know a lot of what's going on in MMA, Australian MMA. Give us some news.
Well, there's some rumours that we've got some boxers that are coming onto the MMA scene. I'll speak to you a little bit about that later, but we want to call over Garth for a sec.
Garth Woods?
Garth Woods, the Garth Woods. I think that when a player's actually had a rugby league background and he can tackle, this guy's got balls of steel. I think he's got a bit too much heart, right? Like Michael Carajana said last week. I think the transition's going to be an easy one for him. He's going to win a world title in boxing, but he's not going to wait till he wins a world title in boxing to fight MMA. Garth, come over here, say a few words.
We've got Garth Woods here. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure's mine.
So, talk us through these new revelations. You're possibly entering MMA.
Oh, I'm a fan of the sport. I've got a lot of work to do before I ever decide to get in the ring. I'm a fighter, yes. I'm a boxer, but I know how to fight. But there's a different sort of way of fighting in there. So if I was to step in the ring, I'd have to have plenty of experience under my belt. I'm no mug, but I love a challenge. But I can see the love for it. If you're a fighter, you love any sort of fighting.
Yeah, definitely true. And there's obviously a lot of conversations do happen around mixed martial artists entering the boxing ring and vice versa. So what do you feel you would need to do to be able to, take your fitness? Obviously, you're an extremely fit athlete doing boxing. How does it change? What are the differences between entering into a cage and actually doing MMA?
That I don't quite know. So I'm just a onlooker at the moment. Just when I say in love with the sport, I'm fond of the sport. But before I make a decision, I'd have to do some training and get some experience under my belt before I make that decision. But I'm just an onlooker looking on, thinking it's a great sport and it's got a lot of growth. And I think it's a big chance of our future down the track, maybe.
And so in terms of boxing, what's up next for you then?
I'm in discussions. I was supposed to fight on the Daniel Gill card, but I suffered a cut in training 3 weeks out from the fight, which is rough. Put all that preparation and discipline into a 10-week preparation, and it's just unfortunate that you get a cut in training. So my trainer Billy is saying to pull the fight, just given the fact it was a 12-rounder, and I couldn't afford to sit out on the sideline for two weeks just until it healed. So we're in discussions with my team, but definitely have a fight before the year's finish.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we definitely all look forward to seeing that fight as well.
Just one final thing, everyone talks about the big, Jeff Koshak and those Josh Koshak, the wrestlers do better when they learn boxing. I beg to differ. I think that a striker, you need bigger balls to strike, and I think strikers, and I think someone like Garth and Mr. Schaffer himself was a striker first. I think strikers, once they learn to grapple, are much more dangerous because they've been hit in the head. They're not gun shy. So, everybody's got an opinion. I'm a little bit controversial in my opinions. I think boxers and people that have struck and been hit in the head, they're not gun shy. They can take it, and they can actually learn wrestling at a later age. This guy's only a young 32 years old. I think we're going to see big things in MMA, but I think a boxer's got just as much chance of, once he learns the grappling game, it's not what it was 5 years ago. So wait till I get into the sport.
Actually, I'm definitely seeing your perspective there, so that's good. Well, thanks guys. Garth Wood, Peter Nicholas and Morgan Good for fightfan.com.au.